Welcome to this week's Spinfoil Theory. We're about to take a dive into the lore of Destiny the game. Specifically, we'll be giving a high-level scrutiny to popular, emerging, and outlying theories, then judging them. With that out of the way, let's put on our Spinfoil hats and get a little crazy. Here comes this week's show.
I did the correct.
Now we're recording. We're live.
We're live.
Well,
in our studio.
we weren't dead, but we're live. Recording.
This is recorded in front of a live studio audience.
Yeah, it always seems so weird to me. The live studio, like, it seemed cool that you could go like see the show get made. Like, I definitely see that appeal. But what was always weird to me, especially shows that had like a laugh track, they didn't even have like a live studio audience. I always thought it was weird that the show would like tell you when to laugh. That was always like, weird. What if I didn't? Now you're making me feel weird because I didn't find the joke funny.
What if I thought the joke was cringe? Alrighty.
I know, and now the show's like making me feel awkward about it. I don't know. It's not what I turned on TV for. Anyway. Welcome to this week's Spinfoil Theory podcast. This is your host, Taylor B., along with LadyLucida. How are you doing this week, Lucy?
Doing very good. Very good for once. I mean, besides the fact, construction in my house constantly. There is no end to the construction. I mean, right now there is. There's like a little bit of a break, and then we have construction not on Witch Queen, but like on the Thursday of Witch Queen week, and I'm just like, but what about my grind? What about doing everything? I need to get my character's raid ready and everything and this, that, and whatever. So, I mean, we'll be fine. Like I said, I'm taking the week off. My partner's taking the week off. My other friend is taking, like, we're all pretty much just gonna know life this, and we're all gonna be raid ready, like, probably this week, and it's gonna be hilarious. I really do like that the legendary campaign will do, will make you 15-20, so instead of having to go, like, 30 levels or 40 levels or however many levels you need to do, you get to do a lot less. Which it makes the day one raid a lot easier for people. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, a lot more accessible, and I think it makes the story more meaningful, especially if they put a lot into the story. Like,
I'm hoping.
Yeah. That's gonna be cool. I'm really excited. I'm so jazzed between that and, oh man, just all the different games I've been playing. Is it Horizon Zero Dawn's gonna come out tomorrow?
Yep.
Yeah. There is, at the time of this recording, if you when you listen to this, it's already come out.
Oh right, because this is like we're like super far ahead.
We're in the past.
Yes.
2 weeks. We're 2 weeks in the past.
We are. Ooh, spooky. So as of recording, spooky. Witch Queen is not out yet.
Yes, but it will be, and we might do you. How would you feel, Lucy? Not to put you in the hot seat here live on recording, but
yes.
How do you feel about maybe we can do some hot reactions, some hot takes, maybe some
I definitely think
some foil theories.
I think we kind of forgot because we did like our Witch Queen our Season of the Lost predictions. Mm-hmm. And now Season of the Lost is basically done, and we never talked about that.
We gotta revisit it.
We didn't revisit the Season of the Lost. Like, did it meet our expectations? Did it fall flat? Did it?
Yeah.
We can have that be.
That's a good idea.
Another
That's a good
episode.
idea. I'm hyped for it. Maybe a special.
Yeah, we can do that as a special.
We haven't done a special in a while.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway.
A little something extra. Anyway. If you're in the future and we haven't done anything, obviously these plans fell through.
Yes, this happens.
Sorry if that happened. I'm sure you understand. Speaking of which, we are approaching our 100th episode, so a little housekeeping here. We have a couple things to give away as sort of a celebration. We're going to be setting up a speak pipe on our website. I don't know if we've done that yet, and you guys will be able to leave us messages, anything if you like. And we also have a copy like factory sealed, so it has the emblem and everything of the Queen's will. So really like entry is really low. Interact with one of our tweets that mentions the contest, or write to us at spinfoiltheory@gmail.com. I'm gonna keep it simple. However, leave a speak pipe. That will also count. So yeah, all these ways that you can get it, and we'll send it. We'll announce the winner in episode 100.
Og.
Yes. Okay. Well, with that bit of housekeeping out of the way, we are in part 3 of our series on the Witch Queen Collector's Edition Hidden Dossier.
Yes. Or is this part 4? Because the last episode was really long. I'm not sure if you split that.
I think I'm just gonna put it up long.
All right, that's fine.
Because it's probably gonna be more useful, especially the intro. It's gonna be more useful to get it all out before Witch Queen drops.
Sure. Makes sense.
Yeah. So, and you heard just now why last week's episode was so.
Yes.
This is where the magic happens. But this week, our theory was actually brought to our attention by Lucy here. So, Lucy, why don't you take it away?
Alrighty. So, for the unaware, Savathun took over Twitter. What was it? These past few days. It was very hilarious. I thought it was funny. Savathun was roasting everyone. She told Paul Tassi to touch grass.
It was pretty cool.
It was pretty funny. She told some Savathun simps that she doesn't want. She basically called them worms, and she doesn't want them, which was also hilarious. But yeah, no, I just thought it was great. I thought it was a nice little insight into the character. But while that was happening on Twitter, on Instagram, while, the VanNet, quote-unquote, was being hacked, we were able to decode some transmissions from a mysterious character whose name is Imaru. Not to be confused with Imbaru, which is how Savathun gained tribute, or Dulinkaru, who is Savathun's daughter. There's kind of a pattern here. But the first part was released yesterday, and the second part was these transmissions were released today. What I thought was very interesting was that our boy Imaru here was not some high-ranking Hive lieutenant or Lucent brood, not a Hive Guardian, but a Hive Ghost, giving orders, telling the Hive, hey, these guys, what did he call us? He called us
dude.
He said he called us some pretty not nice name. Well, I won't say.
What
he called us wagamaggots or something.
Yeah. Oh, something like that. Hold on.
He basically called us some names.
Yeah, it's wagamaggots. Like, that's not cool, bro.
Wagamaggots.
That sounds like something I don't want to be called.
Gun-toting wagamaggots. That's what he called us.
Yeah. I hope that ghost falls down. I said it.
I just think it's really interesting because prior to this, a lot of people thought that the Hive Ghosts were just, by using the Crown of Sorrows, all of these ghosts are mind controlled.
Mm-hmm.
But with what we got in the Hidden Dossier, which we talked in part 1 a little bit, because this was the beginning, there are ghosts that are sympathetic towards the Hive. They've read the Book of Sorrows, and they're like, damn, these guys are kind of sad. I want to be friends with them. So, what if the Hive Ghosts are willing? They, willingly decided to rest the Hive. No tricks. They just went and did this. I'm just scared because That makes the whole, crunch. You're not just killing some mindless little drone anymore. You're killing an actual ghost.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes that whole, I guess, scene that we know is coming at this point based on like public things Bungie has released. Yeah, that's going to be something interesting to think about. And people have had that wonder for a couple aspects about the Hive too. Like the whole debate about the hive worms, because like the worm, they like feel the worm, they feel its will, but it's like, is the worm a drone? Is the worm like yeah? There's a lot of questions about the Hive, and I guess the worms are technically like Hive adjacent. Or I guess no, you're not the Hive without the worms. You're just the krill otherwise. So yeah.
Yeah. So like, are they even still technically the Hive? I mean, they still like look like the Hive. I mean, if it looks like a duck, talks like a duck, it's a duck, right?
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying, like, they even in like all of the marketing and stuff, they call them the Hive Guardians. So they're still Hive. They just don't have their worm anymore. Krill is before they're packed with the worm gods on Fundament.
Yeah,
but now
and I
they're
think
still
it's good.
Hive, but they just, instead of using worms in the darkness, they now have their own ghosts in the light, which is horrifying.
And I'm glad you brought that up though, because it's good to note that krill plus worm equals Hive, but as we're seeing here, Hive minus worm does not equal krill again.
Yeah, they don't like revert back to their krill form. It might, like, maybe they actually look like, because something that's interesting, because I remember the ghosts, like in a lot of the ghost stories, lore books, ghosts, they basically res their guardian at, assume Shin Malphur notwithstanding, because Shin Malphur is a special case, because he was a child when he was resed. They basically age until they reach what is considered their peak perfection, or something peak. Like their best selves, basically. And I'm very curious to see, because we see like the Lucent Brood, they grow all this extra chitin that's very, I wouldn't say ornate, but very different than what we've seen. Is this like a perfected version of the Hive? Basically.
The way you just described it makes me think that they're self-actualized Hive. They've really just like, they've put the work into who they are.
Maybe, maybe they
reaching
have.
their full potential.
Maybe they have
They're
reached
not, they're ready to take on the world.
I'm just curious to see, because as we've seen in the trailer, in one of the trailers, there was an injured Hive Ghost. It looked a little bit different than everybody else. And we know that Ikora, we're not sure who the I'm not saying we're not sure who the vendor is for the Throne World, because every new destination has a vendor. Like we have Varix. We know Ikora is going to be the Elsie equivalent, giving us the Void 3.0 stuff. We know that already.
Well, that's good. That's good news.
We also know that Mars is going to be a social area. This isn't like leaked information. This is from people who visited Bungie, air quotes. They couldn't actually visit because of COVID. They did like a online Discord-esque thing, and they talked about it. And they said Mars had a social area very similar to kind of like how we have Zur's treasure hoard, how it's a small little area, but it has like the conspiracy board, and there's also NPC guardians there. So I think that's cool. That makes the world feel like more alive. But
yeah.
So what I'm hypothesizing is that injured Hive Ghost is the vendor for Savathûn Stoneworld.
I can dig it.
Just hypothetically, but I'm curious if the Hive Ghosts are basically if the Hive Ghosts, like, if they did this willingly, if they willingly decided, hey, we want to res the Hive. Like, that, I think that's honestly, I wouldn't say worse, but, like, I think worse than if they were, like, mind-controlled or something.
Or corrupted.
Or corrupted or evil. If a ghost looks at the Hive and willingly decides, I want to res a Hive, then I think that's a bigger issue. I won't say issue, but like threat than really anything we've ever seen before. And that would be, you know, survive the truth. The truth is that the Hive willingly got chosen by ghosts instead of corrupting them or doing the Crown of Sorrows and making them mind-controlled or anything like that. If the ghosts went out of their way and willingly was like, yeah, okay, these people fill the requirements, devotion, bravery, sacrifice, check, 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 all right, dunzos. So, like, that's what I'm curious about. I'm curious if, like, because we've done a couple episodes about the Lucent Brood and the new Hive Ghosts, because there's a lot of speculation. We don't know how they work. We don't even know how our ghosts work. So, like, especially with what Imaru was talking about, he said this is first ghost Imaru here. So I'm thinking Savathun was the first one that was risen, and then, but then,
oh yeah,
that then adds a whole nother can of worms, pun intended, where, like, the issue is one of the things you have to do to become a guardian, you have to die. We didn't kill her in the exorcism mission. Spoilers if you haven't done it yet. But wait, by the time this is out, the exorcism mission won't be out anymore. You can just cut that part.
Oh, man.
So she hasn't died yet, so at least as time of recording. So how does she keep her memories then? You can't, because one of the prerequisites to being a light bearer, you have to do devotion, bravery, sacrifice. Savathun has check mark. She's done all three. But she hasn't died. And what happens when you become a light bearer? When you become resurrected? You don't have your memories. So how does she know who she is? How does she know? I mean, she obviously knows who she is. Obviously. We can tell. She knows, oh, I'm Savathun, Hive God of Lies. And, like, so I'm just curious on how she bypasses the whole erasure of, not entire memory, but of specific key points in your history. Like, you know how to walk and talk and that sort of thing. Like, you know basic stuff, but you don't... But, like, you don't remember your past. It's like a selective amnesia.
Yeah. That's dissociative. It's that's not what it is in real life, everyone. But that's how it's been used in probably like poor writing and a lot of popular media, like television, movies, stuff like that. So it would when we say that, we don't mean like the literal thing, and we'll, hopefully we can come up with a less misleading term. But yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
That is really weird. Questioning, one, how she keeps her memories, and two, like where the ghosts come from. As a little sidebar, can't the Hive die, but not like their soul's still there, so they're cool? their soul
Technically,
can be like.
yeah, because as long as Savathun doesn't die in her throne world, she's fine.
Well, but even Crota had his soul crystal. They
Yeah.
were like still able to like pull some hive. So what if she does it kind of like a combination that way? Gets rezzed by the ghost, but then does like whatever that soul ritual thing is.
Yeah, it's possible. But
Huh.
I'm not sure. I'm thinking, because it's possible, I think. But like I said, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely spitballing on that one. But you were saying about the hive ghosts. They're pretty suspect. There's a lot we're going to want to learn about how and why, especially if they seem to have personality.
That's scary.
Yeah, what is it you were but yeah, I just want to remark, like, yeah, that is, start thinking about that, guys. Like, where do these personalities come from? We know personalities can float around in this intangible energy in the ascendant plane, thanks to Toland.
Yeah.
So what is going on with these hive? Like, how these hive ghosts? So yeah, Lucy, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
It's worse that they have I wouldn't say worse, but it makes it definitely a lot more morally ambiguous what we're doing. Like, in this campaign, we are the bad guys. We just are. We're the invaders. We're the bad guys. We're invading Savathun's throne world and straight up perma-killing guardians. They may be Hive Guardians, but we're just as bad as the freaking warlords in the Dark Ages.
Do you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of the hive are like those old, like the shark trying to get into the cage, but then someone captions it like, "Oh, dude, you're trapped in there. Hold on, I'll get you out."
Pretty much. Pretty much.
The person's terrified. They're like, "No, what are you screaming for, buddy? I'm going to save you. It's okay." I'll get you. Or like the spider in the corner. Spider's probably better for the elixir, but it's like, oh, hey, friend, yeah, I'm just hanging out over here, like, getting rid of some pests, and, oh, is that the news? Like, thanks. So, whap. But to sort of round out the theory, where is it you think maybe those ghosts came from?
Where do I think the ghosts came from? Well, from, like, the actual ghosts, like, themselves, or...
Yeah.
It's possible that... Because Osiris, quote-unquote, more like Savathun, we know Savathun, posing as Osiris, got dead ghosts from Spider. We know she knows how to do necromancy now, thanks to Nokris and her experiments on Titan with, like, the Deathless Night and Savathun's song, like that strike of being able to rip the light out of people. So there's that. It's possible that Savathun used necromancy to resurrect these ghosts, but instead of using any sort of hive magic corruption, evil Knievelness, the ghosts are like, "Oh, thanks. Okay, I'm gonna res you now. You're cool." Like, they could have just done it, like, willingly instead of unwillingly. Like, because I know a lot of people have suggested, oh, she has the Crown of Sorrows. That means she can use that to basically make all of the hive ghosts, like, drones and sort of not... Basically that they're just kind of, like, more mind-controlled, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think with this little new snippet that the Hive Ghosts do have... I think they did it willingly. Or at least Imaru did. at least Amaru did. I could definitely see.
So like regular ghost that was willing to, even if it was like corrupted in the end, like it was willing to, it gave itself up to that like willingly.
I could see that maybe. I mean, like, because as you've seen, Amaru doesn't sound like distressed or anything. But then again, if you're like mind controlled, you wouldn't really. You would just. I'm not sure. I want to believe that the Hive, because especially with what we have in the Hidden Dossier with the Hive Ghosts having sympathy. Because one of the things that they talk about is, could a ghost potentially raise anyone? Does the choice of a partner lie within the ghost, or is it a mission assigned by the traveler?
Mm-hmm.
If it's assigned by the ghost, and the ghost itself gets, I won't say confused, but comes to the logical conclusion that the person it's supposed to res is a hive instead of a human, and they found a hive that fits all of the qualifications of devotion, bravery, sacrifice. The ghost's like, alright, boop, check. You're the person I need to res, so I'm gonna res you. I could see that happening.
Yeah, that's not too ridiculous. It makes me think of what Lysander would say about Osiris. I think they may have retconned that in the comics to where it's not specifically Lysander anymore. But what they used to accuse Osiris as being, what was the term? It was like an abomination accidentally rezzed by like a dumb ghost.
Yeah.
To say it less eloquently than they do in the grimoire, but what's the reason I bring that up is I don't know if that's what's happening here. But it's interesting because even back then, like, that doesn't seem unheard of. Even the Vanguard's like, ooh, like, I don't really know what to say to that. Like,
definitely.
And actually, you know, we do also know ghosts can be reprogrammed. Sagir was able to do it.
Yes. So it could be possible that, because as we've seen before with the Hive, with Inquisition of the Damned, we've seen the Hive do, I guess, body swapping, taking the soul of one Hive and throwing it in someone else's body. What if the Hive Ghosts are just Hive souls slapped in a ghost? And we also have the puzzle piece of all of the light from the Endless Night. Given the light via the Endless Night, bam, you got a Hive Ghost. Possibly. I'm not sure, basically. I'm just spitballing. We don't have enough information, is basically what I am trying to say.
But so... I think the one that I think let's narrow in on for tonight is what if they come from that cluster of ghosts who didn't even feel motivated to search for guardians in the collector's edition?
There's also the group of ghosts of the unpaired ghosts that they really like the
they really like the Hive.
Books of Sorrow, and they're not fascinated by the Hive. They feel bad for them. They're sad. They're like, hey, I feel bad for them. They're kind of like,
I read it like, I don't know, I kind of read it as the way they were describing their feelings toward the Books of Sorrow is kind of like, I don't know, like an emo kid reading Edgar Allan Poe or something like that.
yes.
As a trope. Sorry, emo fans, I don't actually mean that about you. I think it'd be interesting. So yeah, I think for for tonight's theory. Did the ghosts come from the cluster of what I'm gonna call them like a nonconformist ghost commune?
Nonconformist ghost commune, I dig it.
Yeah, because like the description of them was very like if a tiny paracausal space machine can be like kind of like offbeat, like these guys are it. Because they're not interacting with people anymore, they're just not even like they're just floating in random orientations and directions because it doesn't matter. Like the ghost flies and most often like orients itself in the way that it does because of its guardian, because it's interacting with people.
Definitely, yeah.
So these guys are just like floating off in the corners, philosophizing, daydreaming, reading the books of sorrows.
Pretty much.
So it's and what makes it interesting about that is that means they have access to the VanNet. So I'm starting to think maybe the VanNet is actually like hosted, or the server is something to do with ghosts. Maybe it just puts out on a frequently that all ghosts can get.
Maybe. I mean, the lore is common knowledge. Like, people have talked about the unveiling. They've talked about a lot of different.
That's true. I guess from what I'm thinking though is like, how often do you see someone who doesn't even like work with the Vanguard do VanNet stuff?
I guess that's true. Yeah.
So it just makes me wonder. Well, I guess maybe they signed up and then got disillusioned. Maybe they're like pirating it.
They're pirating it. Beautiful.
They're streaming the VanNet illegally. I know. Put Cody on their OS. Yeah. Okay. So I kind of like this. It gives extra weight to the seed of that story, because I think that story could be removed and the rest of the book would still make sense. But I think it's put there for a very specific reason.
Yeah. They wouldn't just put this in the collector's edition for no reason.
Exactly. So I am becoming of the school that I think, kind of like you said earlier, Lucy, I think at least the one that we've heard.
Imaru, yeah. At least they're purposeful, non-mind controlled, like.
Well, we gotta know, because right now 100% of the Hive Ghosts we've heard speak are Imaru.
Yeah.
And I guess really, since technically that's like a VanNet takeover that's happening in universe, that's the first ghost, Hive Ghost, like we would have ever interact. I don't know if that counts as an interaction, but you know what I mean? Like heard from.
Yeah.
So, interesting.
Indeed.
That makes me wonder if they're gonna have strikes like open world events against us. Does that mean we'll have open world event missions that they have to stop?
Yes, that's kind of what I got from the voice lines for him. That he was basically kind of like, we have Devram talk to us for public events, or Shahan, or Zavala. He was like that for the Lucid Brood Hive, saying, hey, the Cringe Lord basic bitch Guardians are coming to kick our butts. So go kick them back first.
Wagamaggots.
Those gun-toting wagamaggots. Like, that's such a random, crazy insult, and I think
I hate it. I hate it.
Why do you hate it? I think it's funny.
It's very funny. It's very funny. I just put like when I guess I'm thinking more of like from like my guardian self.
Your guardian self takes offense to that. My guardian, I just laughed at it. I was like, bro, that's funny. You're funny.
He feels like it's offensive, but he doesn't know enough about it to call it out.
He's like, this seems offensive, but I don't know why.
I don't like this. I feel like I should be angry for like multiple reasons. But so that's I think there's, if all of them were, that would be a big
problem. Yeah, like
yeah.
in universe problem. It'd be a lot of moral quandaries. I mean, they've already kind of touched on it a little bit in the Vidoc, where they were like, it's this moral dilemma. Like the first time you crush a hive ghost, you like hold it in your hand, and you're like, should I be doing this?
I feel and I think that moral dilemma that they're talking about, I think they're talking about that for a reason, and I think there might be even more connection and weight to this story about those disillusioned beatnik ghosts. Because it's an interesting choice too. Like every other time in the lore, when you hear about a ghost who hasn't been paired yet, they're either like continuously looking or they're like helping out in other ways that they can.
Yeah, they're like helping out, like whether they're like, part of the hidden or like helping out with the Van Net stuff, or they're researchers, or like they're helping. But to see ghosts not do that at all and just be like reading the Book of Stars, and they're like, yo, I like this, and then run away.
Edgelord ghosts. I can't believe we didn't see him before.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're edgelords. They definitely seem like like dejected. It's kind of like, I don't feel like doing this anymore. This is dumb. Why am I even ghost?
Definitely.
Yeah. So that, and actually, if someone like Savathun, who is very charismatic, were able to approach a group like them
and convince them that the Hive Ghosts, the Hive and the Lucent Brood are the correct ones, the ones that they should res, I could definitely see that.
That they were meant to res.
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, why do you think you haven't found your Guardians yet? Because they're right here.
Exactly.
You're looking in all the wrong places, buddy. So there's that. But then, I feel like there's also an angle to consider with the necromancy.
Yeah.
And especially, I bet over the years a lot of Ascendant Hive have died.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I mentioned Ascendant specifically, everyone, just because there's the more Ascendant they are, as avid listeners and lore fans probably already know, but for anyone who doesn't, the more Ascendant they are, the more like access to the cool stuff that like the royalty have. So like the royalty, like your Crotas, your Oryxes, and now your Savathuns, and everything in between. They have access to more like Ascendant Hive magic and trickery, and like they can hide their death. They have a throne world. They can hide their soul. They can just like all these extra things, and they have varying degrees of that. And Lucy, correct me if I'm wrong. It's like they have varying degrees of that as they sort of climb that pyramid.
Ladder, pyramid. Yeah. Like it really depends. Like we've seen the Brood Mother, for example, in the Brutal Strike. She has the shadow thing that Oryx did. I'm drawing a blank on the name right now. Shades? Yes, the shades, shadows, those sort of things.
Yeah, the shades of Oryx. Sorry, I was muted.
Yeah, the shades, like she has that thing, but, and then Omnigul can like hide. Omnigul has like a throne world. I'm just listing of like different Ascendant Hive. Cool, I would assume what was Ascendant.
That one what's it called? The Elixir, but they're not the one scorn guy too. The one
Mindbender.
Baron.
Mindbender.
Yeah, Mindbender.
That guy's an absolute Chad. Like, Chad Mindbender, virgin, I don't know. Someone who's cringe.
I know. Well, every time people, like, even in the strikes, they'd be like, "Yeah, I guess he got like a hive to fall in love with him or something."
Like that's such a Chad thing to do. I wish I was that cool, man. I wish I could just be like, I could just jump in the Hellmouth and find some like hive person. They're like, "Sup, you cool? We friends," and then we high five. And then they teach me hive magic. There we go. I just want to know what the hive runes mean, please.
They teach me hive magic. I teach them how to love.
Exactly. There we go. It's there you go.
It's the cutest rom-com ever.
I was just gonna say, the Last City Theater production presents.
So, that's just so funny to me because the whole thing reminds me of like a Silver Age comic book villain. But it's just it all happened off screen.
Pretty much.
In this case, because it's like oh, like I'm never gonna fall in love with you, Scorn, and then the Scorn's just like, oh no, I'm gonna get you with mind bending. Like,
pretty much.
It's like a one-dimensional character, but it's actually really powerful if you think of like.
They're like, oh, okay. Like I don't know. Like I haven't really like thought about like how does the Mindbender do that? Because like that's the kind of like I know it's like really like obscure random lore, but like
if Mindbender wasn't literally making big brain moves, I'm gonna be upset.
Like, did he use like we know he had like his little Mindbender totem things that would influence the smaller hive, but we didn't see that like in the actual strike to kill the Brood Queen. So
did we ever find his wife?
That is his wife, the Brood Queen.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought.
Ear Lock. It was, or I think it's her name. Ear something. Place hold. I'm having a brain fart. I can't believe I forgot her name.
It's okay, but yeah, I completely think. You know, he just walked in, like, literally had to have, like, one hand on his temple at all time. And it's just like making, like, straining faces and just, like, mind rays come out like Professor X.
It's on, it's on and off. On.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, yeah, I thought it was her, but couldn't remember.
Yeah, but she's,
so many pieces of the lore. It's like one thing when you, like, get prepared to, like, talk about something. Then it's like, oh, it's all coming back to me. It's all fresh. But then it's just like, oh, yeah, that guy.
Yes. Basically, in Anon, she's a hive brood queen. And even the rest of the hive thinks she's a traitor. They don't like her. But what's really interesting, and I think you guys might make fun of me, but I think it's really sweet. Because I've actually gotten the renders of the Brood Queen. I was just curious, like, what she looks like. Because, you know, when you're fighting her, you can't really see everything. And if you look at her, like, skirt that she has, there is actually Elixir written on the skirt. I don't know what it says. I have no idea what it says. I'm not an Elixir expert. She's basically, like, was so touched, I guess, by the Mindbender or mind control.
By the mind bending.
Or whatever. That she literally, like, basically wrote his language on.
Oh my god.
Herself.
Let's see.
Cute.
What if we only think we killed him?
I don't know.
It was very cute. She was repping her bae. Where I was asking, with all the mind bending, what if we only think we killed him?
Maybe. I don't know. I think. I'm not sure.
What if, like, we get a flashback and the actual whole fight was us just standing there like dolls while he mind bends? Like,
what I think
you had this epic battle.
Speaking of,
take this shotgun.
of potential people coming back, do you think Nokris might come back? as a lucent brood?
I think it would be fitting. Nokris and Crota.
Crota even, wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's I mean, he's here. She's probably, well, yeah, like, I mean, yeah, she definitely had access to where he died. During her time as Osiris, but I guess there's no like record of her doing anything like that too. I think it would be fitting. I would be curious because especially like, you know, you seeing those bigger like hive worms.
Mm-hmm.
I would be interested to know if he's really brought back or if he's just what he used to resurrect. If he's just a little like necrotic puppet.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool if he came back as a lucent brood too, though. I think, or as a ghost, because that's really interesting. You know, we mentioned Toland earlier.
What if Nokris is Immaru?
Ooh. We should pull up. Does Nokris ever speak?
Yeah.
We should pull that up.
I'll compare that. I have literally every single one of his voice lines saved somewhere.
We'll put a pin in that. We'll put a pin in that for reactions.
Yes.
Yeah, what we're going to do, guys, because it's going to release on Tuesday from the time of this recording, is we'll actually close this the rest of the show out with like educated expressions here. So no worries. You might be like, why are they talking about this before? Well, it's the future, so we can do that from the past.
Nokris.mp3. No, the voice is too deep, I think. But then again, there's some gruttle to it. I'd have to listen to the Immaru ones again. Let me listen to my boy Immaru.
Yeah, I think as my final comment before I think we can put the pause and do the reactions after Tuesday. But my final thought is I think there is, depending on what ends up being the nature of the worms.
Of the ghosts, you mean?
No, of the worms, because the ghost could be the worms if the worms have personality.
True.
And so that just makes me wonder, because then it's like your buddy that you, I guess, like in a lot of ways have had like, you know, a hostile but intimate relationship with your entire like ascendant life is now no longer trying to eat you.
That could be an interesting thing, definitely.
So, all right. So with that, when we come back, we'll be from less far in the past, and we'll finish this one out. So, goodbye.
Doodles.
All right, everyone, we're back, and we are post-release now. You know, we've been having a lot of fun with Witch Queen. We hope you guys have been too. But yeah, I think we can kind of go into some scoring now. I can kick us off, Lucy, if that's all right.
Yeah, go for it.
Guys, I think this theory, most of the ones that we were talking about tonight, the idea that we could have a friendly ghost, the idea that potentially and probably quite likely the Hive Ghosts came, if not in part, at least from that little collective that lived on the edge of the system in the collector's edition that was being investigated by the Hidden. It's yeah, I think these are these.
We were
yeah,
right.
we were right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yo,
Drop the banner. Like confetti.
Yo, look at us. We actually get the confetti. Yeah. We did it right. Look at us.
And that's pretty awesome. Some new things we learned since release. We're actually in a little past week 2 now for the game. So at the time of this second portion of this recording. And things that we've learned is that we're getting this. If you collect the lucent moths, that you can see little dossiers that like you can't hit X on them yet, but if you investigate them, it gives you a little hint as to where they are. And there's some great guides up on YouTube within, I would say, like minutes after each reset. That'll show you where they are each week. But if you go collect these lucent moths and return them, you get what ends up being a lore book, kind of like Ghost Tales, but it's called Lucent Tales, and it's about the Hive Ghosts, stories about them and from their perspectives. And we've learned some really, really cool stuff. Like there's even, I think, we kind of touched on it a little bit here, and this might have to be an episode that we go into. There's even some showing of hesitation of wanting to fight other light bearers on the Hive Guardians themselves. Now, you were talking about that earlier, Lucy, right?
Yeah, because basically in the lore book, or lore entry, this one Hive Guardian, we don't know his class, or their class per se. We don't know whether they're a acolyte, a wizard, or a knight, as opposed to our hunter, warlock, titan. Mm-hmm. And basically, he has a guardian ghost, one of our ghosts, in his hand. And someone, whether it's his ghost, a superior, someone is telling him, crush the ghost, mm-hmm. Kill it.
Yeah.
It's evil. You're the superior guardian because, you have his ghost in your hand.
Yeah.
And
sorry.
The guy, he just looks at it and just holds it in his hand, and instead of crushing it, he just stares at it and lets it go. And then he gets mad, and then whoever is talking to whether, I'm assuming it's his ghost, but I'm not 100% sure.
I think it's his ghost.
If it's his ghost or not. But basically, whomever was speaking to him didn't get too happy that he let that guardian go.
Yeah, kind of.
But yeah, I think definitely we could do an episode where we talk about the Lucent Brood and if we can be friends with them.
I'd be into that. We can make that. I think that'll be really cool. We can definitely do that. I'll add that to the Trello. I've updated, listeners. We have all of our like on deck theories right now are all Witch Green and collector's edition, like Hidden Dossier related. So yeah, we're gonna be on the lore.
We got a lot of Witch Queen stuff.
A lot of mystery soups.
It's very exciting. Yes, we got our evidence board. All of the
mm-hmm.
the red string connecting
mm-hmm.
the Hive Ghosts to Stephathun to
mm-hmm.
Throne World to everything. Got everything connected. It's all connected.
It's fun.
All the pieces. It's all coming together.
But yeah, if I had to score this one, I would give it. I'm gonna give it 11, which is a number I've made up before.
11?
Yeah, it's not like
11.
It's a new kind of number. Math. It's always changing, and I'm gonna give it 11 Hive Ghost shells.
11 Hive Ghost shell. Wow.
Oh,
okay. Here's
a new theory. What if instead of killing Spider, Mara gets him to collect Hive Ghost shells when he comes back into the scene?
I could see that. I don't know. I think Mara was pretty pissed off at him. I would have just killed him if I was her.
Well, maybe not Mara. I think Mara's like a perfect candidate because she does kind of have like power and excuse if he doesn't do what she says. But that is a good point. I think he actually made it to the last city, since we haven't heard otherwise.
You think he's hiding in the last city?
Yep.
I mean, it's possible.
I think the Drifter succeeded.
I hope he's dead though, because I don't like. I hope he's dead.
I love to hate him. I love to hate him, but he is Destiny's kingpin. He is. If you've seen Daredevil and I guess now Spider-Man, he is the kingpin. He's like if Kingpin got bitten by the radioactive spider and became Man Spider instead of Spider-Man.
Man Spider instead of Spider-Man. Yeah. I can see that. Alrighty.
So yeah, those ghost shells are in the affirmative. I think yeah, I think a lot of the ideas that the Hidden Dossier were leading toward just ended up being
I mean,
totally on
yeah,
point.
a lot of like what is in like the Hidden Dossier or Collector's Edition, they do kind of hint at some of the lore that comes out with the season. I just yes.
So how about you, Lucy? What do you have for scoring?
Yay, the TWAB is out. That's the point.
It'll be handy next
I'm
episode,
sorry,
guys. Don't worry.
TWAB is very important for me because I am a day one raid person. Ooh, some gear will be disabled.
Ooh.
Wow. Wardcliff. Peregrine Greaves. Suppressing Glave. Okay. Yo, that emblem looks Yo, that jacket looks colorful.
I want to see it. What is it? I get in. What is it? You guys have me. I put my hat appropriately in for like secondary raids. Yeah.
Yeah,
Groovy,
yeah.
Groovy.
Sorry, hold on. I need to put this in the group chat and say TWAB finally here.
Twarb.
Found.
Where Twarb?
Found. TWAB. Okay. My score. You stole what I was going to say for my score. So I'm going to do something different now.
Sorry.
Bastard. No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm going to give this 100 hive worms.
Ooh. Nice.
Which we now know the hive worms are actually grown in the pyramids. Which is creepy as hell.
Well, they're born with it now,
And,
yeah. I guess.
Hive, technically, no. They're not born with the hive worms in them. They do what's called a ritual of symbiosis, and then the hive worm.
I thought Thrall didn't. I thought that's how like it started. I thought they didn't have to do that anymore because the Krill, or not, yeah, Krill, the one who figures out where the moths come from. The moths grow up and mutate inside the hive.
Yeah.
But the moths are.
That's where the moths come from.
Yeah, but the moths look like the worms. The moths look like they're just like grown worms, metamorphosed worms.
I know, but I don't know. I'm just saying that's how it's. That's why would Savathun need a pyramid pre her getting the light? Why would she need a pyramid that grows hive worms if there isn't some sort of symbiotic that they don't start with the hive worms in them?
I agree.
If they do,
I agree with that.
then why have the pyramid?
Well, I agree with that because that also lends to why there's a lucent hive brood as well as the Hive Guardians.
Regular hive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, even...
Because so basically the brood, they still... this is where I get I won't say confused, but technically speaking, when you headshot a lucent brood hive, there still is a worm that pops out. Technically, Bungie should have removed that, but that's just me being incredibly nitpicky. I'm sorry, Bungie, if you said their whole thing is they don't have the worms anymore because they got the light, why is it when I headshot a hive guy that's a lucent brood, a worm goes out their head? I'm just saying. But anyways.
So I'm sorry. And that was also in the affirmative?
Yes, I think what we said was right. You know, the Hive Ghosts, we know they are real ghosts. They're not mind controlled. They're not zombie ghosts. They're real, actual ghosts who changed their appearance. To fit their guardian, which we've seen that before, which I think is really good.
Well, do you think it's kind of glossed over as sort of like a trust exercise, but do you think it's part of that ritual that was done on Krill from this week's that explains the differences in between the Hive Ghosts and the way they started out, like our ghost?
Possible.
Because it's like a lot of prodding and like ritual and magic and like all this other stuff before Krill, which is one of the Hive Ghosts from the Lucent Tales, everyone. And then he's like, okay, now he seems to like at least like trust that I'm not gonna infect him with something or like betray him. So that would be... I don't know. What do you think about that?
I think it's possible. I mean, as we've seen with the psyops, there is some sort of Savathun manipulation going on, but I am not sure.
I can dig it. Okay. Well, shit. I think that brings this one to a close, and then so I guess Lucy, do you have any shout outs this week?
Shout out to my my day one raid team, who's a bunch of gamers, my homies. We've been prepping for this a really long time, and everyone's raid ready. Everyone's knows that we have builds. We have like down to what every I know what every mod every person is running. Like I know everything.
I can dig it. About
our team composition is everything is good. Everything is really good, and I'm really excited for the synergy and everything. I'm really, really excited and really hopeful because I've never actually beaten a day one. But I think this team is probably the best team I've ever had to do a day one raid.
You can do it. We believe.
And I will totally be live streaming this. Cough, cough.
Cough, cough.
Not subtle.
Plug
for my stream.
Do you stream regularly?
Tee-hee. Not really. I mean, I started yesterday, and I'm gonna stream in like an hour and a half.
Okay.
Ish.
Groovy.
Ish.
So
and
guys, check out.
I don't really know what I'm doing. Like everything I'm probably gonna go. Probably go over the TWAB and the patch notes and probably do some more my pinnacles and powerfuls. Not that I need to. I mean, I'm looking at my I'm 1560. Almost 1560 on all three of my characters. I'm above 1553, which means I need to do pinnacles now. Which is really good, and I'm really excited. Because I'm I'm almost Grandmaster ready with my artifact. So, for listeners who don't do Grandmasters on the normal, like me, to do Grandmasters, you need to have a plus 15 power bonus on your artifact and be at max power. So whatever max power is, add 15 to it. So,
oh, man.
1575, I believe.
That's
what power level you need to be.
That's a lot of power.
Like, if let's say your armor... Yeah, it's a lot. And the GMs this season look kind of cringe, I would say. Because we got Glassway, which sucks. Fallen Saber, which is... Nah. Lightblade is going to be hard. Birthplace of the Vial isn't going to be hard. Arms Dealer's so easy. So I think it's really Glassway and Lightblade. Those are probably going to be the toughest. But I have gilded my Conqueror every single season. It's been available, and I will not stop.
I love it. Yeah, everyone as not just as her co-host, but I've seen her do live streams before. I've been on her with in live shows before. Check her out. She's awesome, and she just watching her play.
No, I'm not that awesome.
Yeah, bleh. I will say it. Check her out. She will. Just watching her play and having her talk to you while she's doing it, she will probably give you the build that you need to either get something that's keeping you stuck or just really change how you play the game in a really fun and new way. So among so many other things. So yeah, go check her out. I'm gonna put a link to your Twitch in the show notes for this one.
Oh no, that's cringe. Yes. And I guess. I mean, what's funny is I'm actually kind of not slowly, but before my stream. If you had checked out my stream before, you'll notice I have the purple in the space, but if you check it out now, by the time this recording is out, it should be all Witch Queen themed in green. Because I figured I'm the Hive rune person, I might as well just go all in on that. I'm the Hive person.
I like it.
That's me.
I like it.
Also, I like the aesthetic. At first, I was kind of maybe not. And then I was like, you know what? Witch Queen is like the best expansion ever in Destiny history. YOLO.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and you'll see me enter text chat every now and again too. I'm definitely going to be checking it out. I'll either be under the show or just my own tag. So, yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun. That's gonna be really cool. I'm glad you got the. I remember you when that came out, you were showing it out. You were like, "This is hype. I'm getting it. This is mine's now."
I was getting it, and I was like, I don't know, and then I got it. I was like, you know what, I got it.
Sometimes
I got it, and then I was like, and I just kept hemming and hawing. I'm like, I want it, but do I want it? I don't know. I don't know anything.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta.
All I do know is that, yeah, I did that. I pulled the trigger, and I'm staring at it.
All right. Well, for my shout out this week, I'm guys, the world is getting pretty crazy out there, and we're gonna keep the show about the show. I'm just gonna use this time like I usually do to say, oh my God, the shit in Ukraine, and just
that's terrible.
Just everything that's going along with it, the amount of lives lost and families who are grieving out there. That I wish there was more that could be done and said, but my thoughts are with you, and I encourage everyone who can to seek out. Bungie's posted some ways too, like already. I think their Game to Give is or will be donating a lot to some of these different foundations. Everyone who can, I encourage to give, and I'll just kind of leave it at that. So, yeah, that's all I got this week. Hey guys, like I said, the world is crazy out there. Take time to make sure you're okay. Check in on your friends. Check in on your family. Take care of yourself. Drink water. Get the sleep you need. So maybe you need more sleep. That's okay. Get it. Get that sleep. You deserve it. You deserve to be rested.
Yeah. All the rest.
Mm-hmm. Feeling like waking up, feeling good. Get that good sleep. You deserve it. Okay. Well, with that, everyone, we will see you next time. We hope you're enjoying Witch Queen. Oh yeah, we're approaching episode 100. So as I've been plugging, interact with the show in any way. If you want to, ping us on Podbean. If you want to comment on Twitter. If you want to write us in, spinfoiltheory@gmail.com. If you want to, I think they can interact. There's ways they can interact on the website too, spinfoiltheory.com. I think we have a speak pipe up now, but yeah, check us out. Interact, be entered to win. We have a sealed copy of Volume 4 of the Grimoire. Yeah, it is. You are getting that emblem if you win, and all you
and the lore
and the lore
and
the lore, the most important. And it's really cool because there's oftentimes there's just the change in presentation from reading it in a game can help you see things in a new way, and a lot of them they've done additional entries too that like maybe aren't in the game. So very cool, definitely worth your time and attention if you're interested. So yeah, reach out, say whatever you want, and you were entered. I'm just gonna make it as easy as doing literally anything. You could like a post, you're entered. between
That's going to be a lot of things to look through, but okay.
I feel like I can do it. I feel like I'm going to start from now. From now you have that, because that's a little more reasonable on myself, but screw it. It'll be fun. Let's make it a comment. Just leave a comment on something. Maybe you'll like it. You could like too, but that's a little too broad. All right, everyone. Until next time, though, stay safe, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Toodles. That's off, Guardians. That's it for this week's discussion. Have any questions or comments about this episode? You can reach out to us on Twitter @SpinfoilTheory, or write us an email at spinfoiltheory@gmail.com. If you'd like to read our show notes, check out articles, listen to past episodes, and more, be sure to pay us a visit over at our website, spinfoiltheory.com.
The Lore Network.